Hello everyone. Today we're going to be installing a dropper post into the Schwinn Axum. The dropper we have selected today is the OneUp Components Dropper V2. This dropper fits a 30.9mm seat tube and boasts a 180mm travel. We also have the matching lever to go with. We'll go ahead and begin unpacking. Here we can go ahead and grab our little black cable end and run this along the steel cable for the dropper lever. This is going to sit flush on the little stop at the end of the cable, and this will all hook into the little pivot on the end of the dropper. Under the seat rail clamp, there's a fill valve on the top of the dropper post. While you have the seat off of the dropper post is the ideal time to hook up a shock pump and put the rated 300 psi into the shock. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove the seat post from the bike. As you can see here, as soon as it focuses at least, it is a 30.9mm diameter seat post with a length of 400mm. When you buy your dropper post and lever, I also highly recommend that you pick up a seat post clamp while you're at it. I ended up choosing a Tompson 34.9mm diameter seat post collar. And this is the point where you would want to put that on. I ended up buying this later and putting it on later. It was a pain, I had to take the dropper back out. Now at this point, I'm just trying to fish this steel cable through the little eyelet at the bottom of the seat tube. If you had a little magnet that you could stick up in the bottom of there, it would probably make this process easier. In fact, there's probably an easier way to do this altogether, but this way worked for me. Let me also just go ahead and apologize for all the shots you're bound to get of my feet. But hey, if you want more, subscribe to DocBach on OnlyFans. At this point, if you have some small spare zip ties, I'd highly recommend just cutting all these off. It makes this process a whole lot easier. But for me, I just removed the little cable ferrule from the housing off the end and threaded it through. Also, bear in mind that the dropper post cable housing is going to come out on the drive side of the triangle. Here, I am reattaching the cable housing ferrule and then pulling some slack to about where it's going to sit in the tube so I can measure out how much length I need to cut out of the end of the cable housing itself. Here I'm just making sure there's plenty of extra slack when the handlebars are turning. That way I won't have to worry about the cable housing being too short once it's inserted up the tube. If you've never cut one of these steel-lined cable housings before, Be warned, it's a chore.
Nice.
With the cable housing ferrule on the seat tube end, we're going to start threading the steel cable through the housing, and then press the housing into the seat tube up against the bottom of the dropper flushly. Just keep feeding that housing up until you feel it seat in the bottom of the dropper. Now with that cable housing ferrule butted up against the bottom of the dropper, we can go ahead and get ready to install our lever. Go ahead and apologize for this terrible camera angle, but here I'm just testing the different lengths from the bar end to see which one is the most comfortable. Now we can go ahead and put our cable ferrule on the dropper lever end. So, as we run our cable through the lever, this little bolt right here is going to be what you want to tighten in order to actually tighten the cable and maintain tension on it. The cable housing ferrule actually slots into the lever on this end and sits flush. And then you can pull all the slack out of the cable, lock it down with that screw, and repeat a few times as the cable will stretch a little bit. Now that everything's pretty much installed, we can go ahead and clip off the end of the steel cable and go ahead and crimp on the little cap that goes on the end. This is the configuration that I ended up with. And this is how I routed my cable around.